Now, I'm using the Yi M1 Mirrorless Micro 4/3 camera. We're going to give this camera a test. Now, I have it on a Fuji Tech selfie stick. Now, this is not a stabilization stick, it's just a selfie extended stick. So, mind you that this camera itself is supposed to have built-in digital stabilization, which I tried to see if I can activate it. It seems like it doesn't have it. So we're going to take a walk really quickly around the capital. So this is a Micro Four Thirds camera. Pretty much I have my experience with Panasonic GH4, and I had rented the GH5 for a 2-day event when I was in New York City. So we're going to test the stabilization on this particular camera. Now I am using the 12 to 40 f 3.5 to 5.6 lens, and as you can see, it's a cloudy, overcast day, and it's raining, and the stabilization should be kicking in. I should be in focus now because I have it on continuous autofocus. I also have face detection. But what I did notice is that sometimes it would hunt in the back and focus on the back a little bit, and sometimes it would come back and focus on my face. So you may see that in this video. So take this with a grain of salt, everyone. As an enthusiast photographer, I'm going to test this camera. So right now I'm at the steps at the Capitol, so we're going to put it through a stabilization test. Ready? We're going to do light steps. And as I walk down the stairs, casual going down the stairs. As I walk to the second set of stairs, we're also going to increase my stepping and do a little bit extreme walking down the stairs. So I'm going to run down the stairs. Now I want to be really aggressive with it. Some stepping, some jumping, so it should be fairly okay footage. Now we're going to walk back up the stairs, and by the way, if you guys want to see the Capitol, it's the Capitol. I am using the Pateron microphones on this camera. I'm going to do no processing to the audio whatsoever. I'll let you guys test it and make your own judgment for yourselves. As the ThePandaPhotographer, I'm just trying to provide content that makes sense. So is this a really bad camera? And in reality, no and yes. Because all manufacturers start off somewhere, right? They learn from their mistakes. Sony has, Nikon has, Canon has, Pentax has, Panasonic has, Fuji has, why not Yi or Xiaomi? Xiaomi is the brand, but so it should look good. It should be focused on my face as I walk, so it's pretty decent. Hello everyone, I just want to give you guys an update on the video quality of this Yi M1 Mirrorless Micro Four Thirds camera. Now, I noticed a few things that may work and may not work for autofocus or continuous autofocus. So this video and this clip right now should have my face in focus. So on the back of the camera, there's the LCD screen that does not articulate. But there are options before you even hit the record button. If you hit the circle button in the back of the camera, you have two options. You can go for single point, or you can go for continuous autofocus, which lights up the whole entire LCD screen with its autofocus points in all green. So I should be in focus right now. I should be in focus, but it's a hit and miss. So video quality, there's some things that needs to be worked out with this camera. For one, it kind of flickers still when there's continuous lighting. Now, I'm outside and outdoors, so it shouldn't flicker. I can understand if it's going indoors to outdoors to indoors to outdoors, but in some situations I noticed in the footage previously, it flickered just a little bit, and I'm not really impressed with that. So maybe they should make a firmware update to fix that and address that issue. But other than that, the 12-40, which I'm using right now, it's a pretty good zoom lens. Don't get me wrong, but 4K video, really huge crop. I'm talking about huge, like it crops massively. It's like a Canon version of the 60 Mark II or the EOS RP. Huge crop, like boom. Like you go from this to like this. That's a huge crop. Other than that, it seems sharp, footage is great. It seems to, capture vivid colors, nice color representation. It is a Micro Four Thirds, mind you, and it is a Sony sensor. Keep that in mind. So, but Xiaomi needs to fix and address some software issues with this camera. And this is just the video segment and the video part about this particular camera. So, take this video with a grain of salt. I am a enthusiast photographer. I do video, I do photography, and I absolutely trying to provide content that makes sense to all of you. This is not a bad camera for its first start. It has its tweaks, like every manufacturer goes through these tweaks, but it's a great camera. I suggest that you guys give it a try. Don't hate it all. It's not so bad. Just play with it. It's a fun little camera to play with, but right now I'm using the audio on the Yi M1 Mirrorless Micro Four Thirds camera. So if you guys like the content, what's up everyone? This is day 2. So I'm testing the camera. I want to test the face detection. Now I have sunglasses on. I want to see if it keeps my face in focus. But I also noticed before I started doing any video recording or taking photos, on the back of the camera, the circle button or the delete button. Did you know that button also features as a zoom feature? So you can zoom in 6 times on this camera. So you can absolutely make sure that you're in focus before you start recording or taking a photograph if you shoot the manual. If you started to use micro four thirds, third-party lenses like Panasonic, but we are going to test something with that. So we're going to test if it flickers from going into the light into the dark. So I'm in the dark, see if it flickers. If it flickers, let me know down in the comments below. Now you guys are on the selfie stick. I'm here early in the morning in Madison, Wisconsin, testing this camera, and I think it does well, but keep in mind that stabilization doesn't work in 4K. Stabilization only works in 2K, sort of, but works really well in 1080p, 60 frames and 30 frames a second. Now, note, when you shoot 4K, there's a massive crop on this camera, a massive crop. So you may want to think about using a selfie stick to get you a little bit of enough length, which I'm using a Logitech selfie stick to give me enough reach so you guys can see me in the background. So let me know if it flickers or not. Hello everyone. So let's have our final conclusions on video. Is this a really good 4K camera for video? Now keep in mind, like I said many times in this video, this is a Micro Four Thirds. I'm going to say this just once. It's a very impressive Micro Four Thirds camera. Now in some conditions, as you saw the B-roll, it kind of suffers in low light. If you're smart enough, you would add more light into the lens, transmitting that transmission light through that f-stop lens. Now the lens itself is pretty standard. It's a kit lens. It's a 12-40, which I used in the whole process of making this video. Now it's a really nice lens and it looks stylish if you ask me, but I do find myself sometimes with some flickering in the video, as you saw. You may have saw it, you may not. So I didn't add any annotations in the video to demonstrate the flickering. I just wanted to see if anyone noticed any flickering. If you did, leave it down in the comments below. But as a 4K camera, this is by far the most entertaining small body Micro Four Thirds camera that has good image quality by far when it has daylight or a cloudy day or adequate lighting. And as I said before, low light, it kind of struggles with a lot of noise, but it can still be used. But keep in mind, if you are going to invest in a Micro Four Thirds camera, you can also add Panasonic lenses onto this camera, a Meta Boost adapter to get even better transmission light through the sensor, which is using a Sony 20 megapixel sensor. Now economically wise, it's light, it's portable in a way, but it is really responsive on the touchpad. And the touchpad, I do find myself, might have hit some clicks there, but other than that, it's a very impressive camera. A lot of YouTubers bashed it. A lot of YouTubers didn't investigate on the camera. They were probably sent the camera or they purchased the camera. It just made their findings a little bit far-fetched to believe they actually know what they're talking about. And as a travel photographer that has been a photographer for many years, I'm going to tell you guys now, I find the YouTube content on this camera kind of rubbish. And what I mean by rubbish is like they did not do their homework. I'm doing my homework. if you didn't see the video of me dissecting this camera and showing you guys the settings and what you can do, you might want to watch this video there. Now, keep in mind also that anti-shake, which is called digital stabilization, does work really effectively in 1080p 60 frames and 1080p 30 frames. When it comes down to 2K, it kind of works, but in 4K you just don't have it. Now keep in mind, if you were to invest in a gimbal, you will have very smooth, buttery footage. So if I were you, invest in the gimbal, mount this on the gimbal, and you will not have any problems with anti-shake. So keep that in mind. But no, if you do activate anti-shake, you might want to disable that if you're going to mount this onto a gimbal. It may conflict with the gimbal and anti-shake, so keep that in mind. Other than that, the 12 to 40 is a very promising lens, but keep in mind, even though it's a 12 to 40 f3.5 to 5.6 lens, I'm going to tell you this: in 4K it has a 33% crop. That's a huge crop. I mean huge. If you didn't see the video that I did, the guide, you notice that it cropped 33% and it was huge. And in this video I showed you guys the crop, how it feels to crop. Now keep in mind that when you are using this in 1080p, it doesn't crop 33%, but it does crop about 13 to 15% to compensate for anti-shake, which is digital stabilization on the camera. Not only that, when you do shoot in 2K, it does crop about 25%. So, but in 4K, it will crop 33%. So that's a huge crop. So the crop factor does vary on this Micro Four Thirds sensor. Take it from me, this is a really good camera for those who are entering video, want to know about video, or if you're an advanced user wanting a secondary camera for B-roll. This is absolutely going to blow you away, and it could be used. I recommend it. I'm giving it a 3.9 out of 5 stars. The reason why I'm scoring this a little bit higher than normal YouTubers have reviewed this lens, this camera actually, and the lens, is because no one did their homework, no one did their investigation, no one dissected the camera, no one actually went through the menu settings and toyed with it, no one understood, and I'm going to tell you this, a lot, and I mean a lot of YouTubers did not point out some facts that I'm pointing out now. And this is why I can't rely on content. This is why I have to test a camera for myself. So if I were you, go out always to a camera store, B&H, or whatever camera store that's your local camera store, and just test cameras yourself and see what works for you. Now, as I said, this is a astonishing little camera that is powerful enough, and it has a touch screen in the back, even though it is not articulated, which is a shortcoming of this. I would prefer with a articulate screen. Now, keep in mind, if I were you, if you're going to use SD cards, I'm not promoting, but the SanDisk Extreme Pro works really well. Now, the SD card that I received with this camera for 4K had some minor issues. There was some data corruption or some data jittering within the footage. Once I put this SD card in, the footage, the 4K footage that you see, was very smooth, playback was very nice, and even in Premiere Pro on my laptop, it was very nice. And it played back very smoothly with animations. So with that said, you do have a HDMI port to plug in an external monitor. You do have a charging USB. Now the charging USB port, I'm going to tell you this now. You're going to have to carry either a battery portable brick, and yes, you can use a battery portable brick while using the camera. So that's a good feature. Another good feature is that you also are able to use the audio. Now this may vary. This is the two microphones on top, and it is very sensitive, as you have witnessed from the footage. But other than that, as the Panda Photographer, I'm just trying to provide you content that makes sense. This video is longer than others, but it is worth watching. In my opinion, take this video with a grain of salt. You may have a different experience with this camera, but if you just watch the video of the setup guide, how to set this camera up, you will have great image quality from what you have seen from my image quality. And even with the kit lens, it's amazing. So I will be doing a video on photography with this camera, with a adapter, which is a Canon EF2 micro four thirds. I'm going to mount a Iris 150 f2.8 micro lens, which will be equivalent of 300 f4 on this camera body. That is going to be the next interesting test that I will be doing. Other than that, I am recording this part on my iPhone and 4K 30 frames using Pro Movie, just to let you guys know, and just to let you guys know that I'm being very transparent. Other than that, thank you for watching. If I missed anything, let me know down in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, you can support the channel by just subscribing, liking, sharing, hitting that thumbs button. It really helps me grow, helps people know that this is the content to watch. Also, if you want to keep the lights on here and support the channel, you can do that by going to the PayPal link down in the description below. You don't need a PayPal account to donate. It really helps me grow, get items like this, and keep the lights on here. So with that said, eat, sleep, videography, photography, repeat, and I will see you guys in the next video. You guys take care. Happy shooting.